His dinosaur axe can cut you in spurts. If he hits you, it's gonna hurt. KK. King Kong. Doesn't have quite the right number of syllables, but we made it work. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
This is our post-Geekout reaction for Godzilla vs. Kong. Although real talk, it's just King Kong 2 featuring Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which I like this. I'm gonna say it right now. I like this. I had a blast with this movie. But I do feel like it's a little light on Godzilla. And that's coming from somebody who, I'll admit, I was on Team Kong this whole time. Like, I mean, of course, support the hometown boy. Yeah,
You're one of the very few people who...
Oh, I know everyone was on Godzilla's side. I know everyone was on Godzilla's side, but I was like, dude, it's the Japanese monster versus the American monster. I'm gonna, of course, root for the hometown guy.
Also, you like the underdogs.
I do like the underdog, yeah, of course. Like, listen, rooting for Godzilla in this fight is like rooting for the Yankees. It's like, oh, wow, congrats.
You won again.
Yeah. Wow, how bold of you to come in here and want to take the easy out.
Oh my gosh. Peach.
Oh my god, yes, you're so happy when we start recording because you get to be on camera.
Yes.
You're our little kaiju.
Yes.
Dogzilla. Thought that would get a bigger reaction, but whatever. Yeah, come on.
Like, there's like a book named Dogzilla.
I know I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh me, oh my. Okay, you all good? You gotta relax?
You gotta calm down, Peach.
Okay, let's get into this movie. Okay, so the plot of this film is that there is this company that wants to find unlimited power, as companies are known to do, and they believe that at the center of the Earth, there's the Jules Verne world, where, like, it's a prehistoric land, and they say that, like, okay, this is probably, like, where all these giant titans have been coming from. So they need someone to find a way down there into this world, and they're like, well, if Titans came from there, we could get a Titan to take us back in there, and King Kong is the one that they currently have, like, under lock and key. So, and they found, like, a little kid that can communicate with it, so they figure, okay, well, that's our best shot. However, Godzilla is designed, as we have learned from the previous films, Godzilla's entire job in nature is to keep the other Titans in check. So anytime that another Titan emerges, Godzilla's gonna find them and beat the crap out of them. So they have to take King Kong away from his island where he's been safe this whole time and take him up to the Arctic where there is a portal.
Isn't it the Antarctic though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Down to the Antarctic.
Down to the Antarctic. Listen, it's space. Up and down are relative. So they need to take him up to the Antarctic, and while they travel, Godzilla gets a whiff of him and is like, oh, hey, it's time to go to work. And so they fight, and then there's some humans in there somewhere, and then later they fight again. And that's the movie.
Also, like, King Kong, Godzilla, like, terrorized the city, but because... something is going on. Yeah, there's a Godzilla subplot in here, and
which that's what we need to really kind of address is that I do really wish that this had been more evenly balanced because I feel like this is like 80% a King Kong film. And then just like 20% Godzilla dashed in there on top. But I understand why that is. In fact, in all honesty, it probably is a lot closer than I'm giving it credit for. It just feels more like King Kong because King Kong has human friends, and King Kong is willing to work with the humans in here. Godzilla ain't. So what we're gonna do?
Godzilla just does his own thing, really.
So what we're gonna do? Just put a camera on Godzilla for like half this film as it just swims through the ocean with nothing going on. It's like, yeah, you can't really do anything.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that.
like the only time like you actually want to see him in action is like when he's destroying cities. So.
But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, it's a movie. We're going to follow the people that can talk. We're going to follow the people that can act in here. And King Kong has his own crew that does that. Godzilla doesn't have his crew, but Godzilla does have characters related to him, specifically characters from the previous film. We got, what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. She was the little kid in the last one who believed in Godzilla.
And now we have a little kid in this one who believes in King Kong.
But we are following scene, we do follow her character in this film for a good chunk of this film. So that's what I'm saying. It is more even than I give it credit for. It's just, if you talk about the Kong humans and the Godzilla humans, it's split pretty evenly. It's just the Kong humans hang out and work with Kong. The Godzilla humans just kind of talk about Godzilla. So,
like they're trying to figure out like why he randomly destroyed the city.
Yeah, the movie starts off with Godzilla destroying the city, so people are like, oh, Godzilla has turned on us now. Godzilla is no longer the protector of mankind. So they're trying to figure out why it would have attacked. And the reason why it attacks plays back into something that happened in the previous Godzilla film. So yeah, it is more evenly split than I'm giving it credit for. It just really feels like Kong is the protagonist in this thing. Because the whole thing is about Kong is trying to find this way down to the center of the earth, but it's also because Kong has been by himself on this island this entire time, and now they're saying, like, listen, I think you came from there. Your family might be down there, and when Kong gets to the center of the earth, yeah, you see Kong kind of like reflecting on like, oh, this is where I came from. This is where my people were from. I'm kind of rediscovering everything about like, this is where I was meant to be. And yeah, it's actually really good stuff. We've got like, I've heard a lot of people saying like, okay, yeah, the humans are kind of flat in this one. And everybody said the same thing about the previous film, which I will say a lot of people, they saw the critiques of this film saying, yeah, the humans aren't that interesting. And everybody's like, I don't care about the humans. I just care about the big monsters fighting. And I got nervous because I looked at that and went, that's exactly what people said about the last one. And I said the same thing about the last one. I don't care about the humans. I just care about the big monsters. And then went and saw the movie. I was like, oh my God, please stop focusing on the humans. Oh, now I understand why everybody had this complaint about this film. Now I understand why everybody was saying, oh yeah, this is a problem with the movie, that the humans are flat. They keep focusing on the humans. We don't have a choice. Like, I'd love to come in here and say, oh, I just care about the big monsters, but they won't let you just have the big monsters.
Yeah, you kind of need a story to build up to the big monsters.
Yeah, same thing with that first Godzilla film, where it was like, oh, the Godzilla stuff in that first Godzilla film is great, but they make it a running gag in that first film of like, time for the Godzilla stuff. Psych! We're going back to the humans now. Yeah, I was kind of nervous about that in this one. But in this one, even though I feel like the amount of human stuff in here is about the same as the previous ones, because the humans are hanging out with Kong the whole time, and Kong stuff is really good and really interesting the whole time.
Peach, oh my goodness.
Oh, you can see the exact moment that she kicked me in the nuts. Okay. Okay. Recenter. Okay, so the King Kong stuff is really good in here, so even though like the human stuff isn't all that great, Kong's there to lift him up the whole time. And I do have to say, I really enjoyed seeing Kong down there in the center of the earth. Like, I would totally be on board with them making another King Kong film set in that location. Because, like, not to spoil too much of it, we'll get into the spoiler stuff later on, but, like, you see Kong find his home, and they give him the title king in there. Like, he has a throne that he finds in there. He literally sits down on the throne, and, like, the place where, like, he's going to, it looks like a Dark Souls arena. Like, it looks like a giant, massive, like, Gothic cathedral almost, just made out of stone. And yeah, I looked at that and went, that's one of the coolest things you've ever done with King Kong. I really enjoy this and want to see you, like, really go into the lore of King Kong in this one. Because you can tell, like, yeah, Kong didn't just come from here. His family ran things at the center of the earth. And there's another thing I gotta give this movie credit for. I've seen a lot of movies trying to do the center of the earth, like there's a ancient land down there.
Yeah.
This is the coolest I've ever seen it done. And it's one of the only ones that actually acknowledges the fact that, oh yeah, gravity would work differently down here. And also, it's not like you go to the center of the earth and, like, anytime that I see people go to the center of the earth in a film and there's still, like, a sky up there, I'm like, what is that? Like, listen, I know there isn't, like, a dinosaur land at the center of the earth. Obviously not. But if you're gonna try and sell me on this, I'm willing to give you some. I'm willing to, like, put my, put reality aside here. but you have to acknowledge, like, you just came through a thing. That thing is not now gone. The way they structured the center of the Earth is that, okay, there is a world there at the center of the Earth. But then, like, you come through the Earth, and that Earth is still around it. Like, there's still, like, that, like, thick candy shell outside of the chocolatey orb that is the world. So, yeah, like, you see that stuff up there, but, like, that's got, like, its own, like, there's animals living up there as well. So it's like if you look up and, like, on your ceiling, there were other people just walking around on your ceiling. And if you jumped high enough, then you would just flip upside down and go there. It's like, this is the best anyone has ever done, the center of the Earth stuff. And I want to see them keep doing, like, I would love another Kong film set here.
Oh, is it like hashtag, continue the Monsterverse?
Yeah, I've seen that going around. I was like, yeah, like after this, like, I'll admit, I was kind of nervous because that first Godzilla film, like I said, the Godzilla stuff was good, but man, they did not give you enough of it, and the human stuff was kind of crap. Kong Skull Island, I really like Skull Kong Island. Then Godzilla King of the Monsters, again, the monster stuff was great. Human stuff, not all that great. So I'm like, kind of like 50-50 on that one. After this one, I'm like, no, we need more of the Monsterverse. We need this thing to continue because I feel like with this one, like, you got it. You finally nailed it. This feels exactly like one of the Japanese kaiju films. Like, they know the exact right balance between the humans and the monsters. They know, like, how to have the humans supporting the monsters without the humans, like, trying to shove the monsters out of the way and go, no, I'm the actor here. I'm the one who takes over in this thing. It's like, no. Yeah, I feel like we finally nailed the equation on this one. Again, it's not like, I know I said I really like Kong Skull Island, but I feel like Kong Skull Island is very much its own thing. Like, I don't mean in terms of, like, the continuity of this. I mean, like, this film, like I said, it feels like those Japanese kaiju films. Kong Skull Island does not feel like a Japanese kaiju film to me. It feels like it is a movie about the Vietnam War, just with King Kong as the metaphor for it. So I'm like, hey man, really enjoyed it, but this one, like, I look at this one, I was like, we finally figured out how to make one of these. All right, let's go. Let's keep it going, everybody. Yeah, I really want to see what else we can do. I want to see, like, new monsters that we can come up with in here. Plus, I mean, now, like, when you look over at the Japanese kaiju films, they've got Godzilla, they got Gamera, they got Ultraman, they got all these other figures in there. But now we've got firmly established Godzilla and Kong. So now we can make multiple different films splaying off from them. So yeah, I would love to see the Monsterverse continue now. And I hope that it does. I know that it's doing well at the box office so far. This weekend, it brought in worldwide $285 million. Which, considering that the pandemic is going on, that's really saying something. Yeah, that's really impressive that it's still making that much money. Plus, who knows how much money HBO is making off this with streaming. Then again, when it comes to the whole, like, streaming thing, that's really hard to figure out how much money you're making on that, because then you have to ask, okay, how many people signed up for your streaming service because of this? And if it's not that high a number of people who signed up for it, but they continue to keep signed up for it, and this is the thing that got them into it, does that count toward it? So that's a whole weird thing. Like, we still are trying to figure out how that works. Yeah, I really dug the crap out of this. There are some things I have problems with it.
Yeah.
Namely the humans. But mostly my problems with the humans aren't the Kong humans. I think the Kong humans are pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's always the Godzilla humans.
It's the Godzilla humans who always mess everything up.
The Godzilla humans are just, like, not quite there.
Also, again, the Kong humans are there to help Kong. The Godzilla humans, again, I get Godzilla's their own thing. Godzilla's gonna be Godzilla. But that means that we're just kind of stuck with the humans the whole time when we're on the Godzilla side. And man, okay, Millie Bobby Brown's character, I'm on board with her. I like her. But the two other new humans that they give her to hang out with in this film, oh my god.
They were so annoying.
I saw some people saying they liked the conspiracy theorists. I like the idea behind the conspiracy theorists. Like, I like the idea that, I mean, listen, if you were living in a world in which there were giant monsters roaming around and the government was, like, trying to do stuff around those giant monsters, of course there'd be crazy conspiracy theorists out there. And so, I mean, there's crazy conspiracy theorists out there who already believe that there's a world at the center of the earth right now without giant monsters roaming the world. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I think that's a good idea to put a character like that in there. But holy crap, he was so cartoonish. And they
Like,
and here's the thing, that's not bad for like what I'm sorry, I'll let you talk in a second.
All right.
I've done this like twice now too. It's not a bad idea to have your crazy conspiracy theorists be like a cartoon character, but that's if they're there for one scene. If they're there for you to get one bit of info from them, and then you leave and you don't talk to them again, and then like at the end of the film, you cut back to them for like one moment, them going like, I knew it, or something like that. That's fine. This dude is with the Godzilla team the entire time, and he will not shut up the entire time. Just going on about the weird, like just rambling about the dumbest stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really like characters that are conspiracy theorists because they are often like so cartoonishly over the top and they just don't shut the fuck up.
Yep.
But they can be redeemable, like the one in Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. Oh, that guy was great.
Yeah, it's like, that's how you do a character like that. Like,
also, I feel it's worth mentioning that guy was only in like a few episodes each season. Mm-hmm. They still knew when to get away from that guy.
And then there was like the other guy.
That guy feels like he was thrown in there at the last second. Like I think he's New Zealand because everybody in films is New Zealand now. Yeah, this guy who we did not see him in the previous film, but apparently he's friend to Millie Bobby Brown's character, and he just pops up and like she needs him to get the van to go and find this guy.
Like he's the one who has the van, and that's the only reason why he exists in this movie.
He has no other point in this entire film, and I kept looking at this guy and seeing and going, he kind of feels like that character that is in all superhero and sci-fi films now, the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
The guy who is just there because he's the tech expert, except he's doing none of that in any of this film, so he serves no purpose. But then at the very end of the film, out of nowhere, he comes in and he goes, I'm going to be the guy in the chair. And I was like, where did this come from? That makes it like, listen, at first I was like, okay, don't just be the guy in the chair because that's such a played out trope at this point. But then he's nothing. I was like, okay, maybe it would be better if you were the guy in the chair. And then at the last second, he becomes the guy in the chair. I was like, you can't just do that now. They found some way to make the guy in the chair thing worse throughout. Except, I will say, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this one for you guys right now. I will say they do kind of redeem it in the 11th hour for me. Because like I said, the guy in the chair trope is so played out. And this guy feels like he's supposed to be the guy in the chair. And I was like, don't do that. But then they did nothing with him. I was like, okay, maybe you should just make him the guy in the chair. Then they made him the guy in the chair. I was like, you can't do that now. It's way too late. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to be the guy in the chair. And then he goes and he sits in the chair and he starts like typing in, trying to hack into this super huge, high-tech, secret organization. And I was like, okay, you haven't shown us like any ability to do any of this up until now. And now you're just going to crack this thing. And then, like, it keeps coming back to him. It's like, and then, like, goes to the monster fight. Then it goes back to him trying to figure this out. And, like, the conspiracy theory guy's like, what's wrong? Why are you doing this? I'm like, well, I know a little HTML. And, like, I went, okay, you kind of redeemed it because you played into the fact that he seems like a guy in the chair type character. And then you reveal at the end, no, that's not a thing. Like, you can't just have, like, you know, like, some, like, kid who studied HTML is not going to be able to crack into like the secret, amazing, all-powerful organization's computer. I kind of dug that was the mislead that they put in there, but still didn't make it worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make it worth it. So yeah, that guy, and also like I kept thinking about his only point is for him to be someone for Millie Bobby Brown to talk to. Except that then, like, they immediately find the conspiracy theorist right after that, and now she's got him to talk to, so, like, you have no purpose in this film. Yeah, it is crazy to me, the divide between the humans on Kong's side and the humans on Godzilla's side.
Like, I was just thinking, like, Millie Bobby Brown should be like, stay in the car, I'll handle this. And then, like, and then, like, at the end, they just, like, cut to him sitting in the car, is like...
Still there?
Yeah, like, wondering what the hell's going on.
That would be a great gag. I would be on board with that. It really feels like there is one line in here in which they're trying to track down... and this is one of the dumbest parts of the entire film. They're trying to track down the conspiracy theory guy, and on his podcast, he talks about how he bathes in bleach which I can only imagine how much that must damage your skin.
Yeah.
He bathes in bleach so that way, like, the government tracking devices can't, like, register with
some shit like that.
Some dumb crap like that. And she goes into a convenience store and asks for some guy who's been buying lots of bleach, which, even if they're able to lower it down to, like, the neighborhood that he might live in, which I don't know why you'd be able to lower it down to the neighborhood he lives in. Any conspiracy theories. Why is he giving this information out? Which, actually, in all fairness, maybe he is, because he has a conspiracy theorist podcast in which he literally says, I am currently working deep undercover inside of this organization. Don't you think someone within that organization would be told, there's a guy who says he works here and we have his voice? Let's line up all of our employees and have them talk.
Oh, they probably were like, oh, he's not important. He's just a crack job or something like that. Like,
I wouldn't. He's literally sharing information that he finds. Like, no, they would have, like, they would have found this dude. But yeah, even if you're able to lower it down to, like, the neighborhood that he lives in, how many, like, bodegas must be in that neighborhood?
Yeah, like...
And, like the first one you go to, you're able to find, like, oh, yeah, this guy buys lots of bleach. Like, what?
Yeah, like, we're in Brooklyn. There's, like, 8 bodegas and just,
on our block.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's probably not as spread out in L.A. where I think this thing is being set, but oh, my God. Yeah, so... But yeah, the guy in the chair kid, he really feels like he's only here for one purpose, which is that Millie needs someone to explain, I'm going to ask about the bleach because of this reason. Because he asked, like, why is bleach important? Then she explains the podcast. It feels like there just needs to be somebody there for her to explain that to. But I'm like, that's a really dumb way to even find him. So you should have just thought of something else to begin with. Yeah, like this guy, she should have gotten the car from him, then driven off in the car, leaving him behind.
She almost did.
Yeah, and then at the very end of the film, like, she returns the car, like, after being stepped on by Godzilla to him or something. Like, some gag about, like, just being, like, so, like sputtering up. And he's just like, oh, my brother's gonna kill me now. I don't know what the accent that was. Yeah, he sucks. And the conspiracy theorist sucks. I will say at least Millie's dad isn't in this film all that much, because that dude was a bland piece of toast in the last film. Yeah, so, yeah, Godzilla's team, not all that great. Kong team is not, like, wonderful, but they're passable, and they give Kong everything he needs for Kong to be Kong. But enough about the humans. Let's go into the monster stuff. Holy cow, the monster stuff is really good here. The monster stuff is damn good, and the big fight at the end of this thing, holy cow, that thing is amazing. That is one of the best fights of any, like, kaiju giant monster thing I have ever seen. And the choreography in it is so good. And I love how many small references are in this film to the original Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, there's a famous line that looks super, there's a famous one that looks super goofy in the original where they, like, airdrop King Kong in. And there's a nice little reference in here to them having to, like, airlift Kong out there. Like,
yeah, because they tried traveling through on boat, but because
and then Godzilla's just like, this is my turf, my
yeah,
partner.
It's like, well, I guess we're gonna have to fly.
Yeah, and like, oh, I get why you're doing this. That's a nice little reference. But then there's actually, like, a moment in the fight itself, which you've all probably seen that clip from the fight in the original film where King Kong takes a tree and tries and shoves it down Godzilla's mouth. He does basically the same thing in here. I was like, I see what you did there. That's kind of nice. That's kind of good. But yeah, also you've probably seen in the trailers, but they give Kong a weapon in here. And I won't really spoil it, but I was like, oh, it seems a little bit unfair that you'd give Kong a weapon. But then I was like, no, he kind of plays in, like, his, like, the fact that an ape would be smarter, an ape could use tools.
Also, Godzilla has, like, laser breaths, so I think...
You gotta do something to, like, even the odds on this one. But there came a moment in which I was looking, when I first saw the axe of the game, I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting design for that. But then, like, you see the axe kind of do some stuff, and I slowly realized, oh, it's not actually, like, a rock on the end of that. It's this. That's awesome, and it implies a backstory in here that I really want to know about. We'll get into that in the spoiler part in here. But yeah, as I said, it made me want to know more about this, and that's what this film did. It made me go, I am ready for more MonsterVerse after this. I'm ready for you to come in here and just like reinterpret some other great classic Godzilla characters in here, which that's another thing that we gotta point out. It has been spoiled in some of the trailers. I don't know why you would spoil this, because it's a really good reveal if you don't know it. But there is another famous Godzilla character in here. Ooh, that thing looks cool. That thing looks fantastic in this film.
Like, wasn't that kind of like given away at like the end credits scene in like one of the previous movies?
It could have been, but it could also have been another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I know some people were theorizing at the end of the last film, oh, they're setting up this, but other people were theorizing, oh, they're setting up that. But it was actually this. But yeah, I had a blast with this film. This thing is like the definition of an 8 out of 10 to me. Because an 8 out of 10 is like, yeah, fun, you just sit there, you just walk away with a big old smile. It's nothing truly amazing that's going to, like, change the entire world, but who cares? You don't need that. Sometimes you just need Kong versus Godzilla, and this is a really good Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, there are some scenes where like, how did that? Never mind. Let's just keep watching. It's fun.
It is one of those films that will make you do that, and it's like, that's totally fine. You don't need to do anything more than that. Yeah, this film was made by Kong and Godzilla fans. That's the best thing that you can say, and like, it feels like a movie that will make Kong and Godzilla fans happy. And I'm very happy about that, because as I've come to slowly learn, apparently the King Kong and Godzilla fan bases are some of the most wholesome fan bases out there. Yeah, this is an entire film in which two giant icons are facing off with each other, and their respective fan bases aren't being total assholes to each other online. It's like, oh my god, that's a thing? We can all just come together and enjoy something? Oh wow, that's great.
It's like, doesn't matter. It's a big monster, and we like big monsters.
I can't remember if I brought this up or not in a previous review, but I saw a meme going around. It was the big tough dog and then the little tiny wimpy dog meme.
Oh yeah, I think you...
And yeah, I love this meme. It was the Godzilla fans. Well, that movie kind of sucked, but you can't win them all. Oh well, better luck next time. And there was a little wimpy dog. Star Wars fans, that was the worst thing that has ever happened to mankind, and I will continue to pester the people who made it online until I scare them off Twitter. And I was like, oh yeah, the Kong and Godzilla fans, they know what's up. They're pretty good. Then again, maybe there's like a weird, dark, like, sub-dimension of them that I'm not aware of. But from what I've seen, they all seem chill.
Like the hollow earth of the fan base where just everything is shit.
That's it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in this film. Oh, another thing that I do have to give this film a lot of credit for, there's a winner. They do not chicken out on this thing, and it's like, okay, well, you know, they're about to finish it off, and then Kong says, "Save Mothra," and they're like, "What?" Yeah, no, there's a winner, and I gotta applaud him on this one. It's like, yeah, you stuck to your guns on this one. I will say though, I don't know what it is about these MonsterVerse films, but boy, they love to just end.
Yeah.
They always feel like there should be like one more scene. Because I remember the first Godzilla film, Godzilla gets up, roars, goes in the ocean, credits. I was like, so we spent all this time with the humans being shoved in our faces. You're not gonna have the humans like go like, so anyway, that means this. And, like nothing like that, like nothing about like, okay, rebuilding it, no, just Godzilla goes in the ocean and it's over with, all right. And yeah, same thing here, like, it really feels like there's supposed to be another scene after this, and no, there isn't, just credits. It's like, oh, it's a little bit awkward of an ending, but still, like, really good. Anything else you want to add to it?
You mentioned, like, the choreography and the fight scenes. Like, I did enjoy it, too. It's like, I like how Godzilla and King Kong have different fighting methods.
Very much so, yes. Yeah, that's really cool.
Like, Godzilla is very, like, has, like, lower body strength, so he's constantly using his tail and stomping, whereas King Kong has, like, upper body strength, so he's constantly, like, using his fists and everything. It's like, that's actually, like, really clever, and, like, makes sense.
Like, King Kong is like jumping around.
King Kong, yeah, like he's like an actual gorilla, you know?
There's literally a moment in which you see him scale a building, kind of like in the film. It's like,
like a tribute to the original.
There's so many things in here that I'm like, listen, I don't even have like the encyclopedic knowledge of Godzilla films. I know a lot of Godzilla fans have, so I'm sure there's tons of other references in here that I didn't even get. But yeah, just to references from like the movies that I do know, and especially like the other ones within the MonsterVerse. This movie, it kind of reminded me of what. Listen, you guys know that I'm a big anime fan. This movie, you know, when you watch an anime series and like the hero does a thing, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait for them to do that thing again, and then they never do. But then they do like a non-canon movie, like one shot for that, and that's when they have him come back and do that thing that you saw in that episode. And you're like, he did the thing again. That's kind of what this is, because I'm constantly seeing Godzilla do things. I'm like, that's how he took down the Mutos. Yeah, I love like how much they were just like, let's just have them do the things that people like them doing. Let's actually like pay attention and like think about how they fought in the previous ones, and then try and interpret that into this. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. This is one of the first films I've seen in a while in which I'd be like, I'd actually watch this again, and part of that has to do with the fact that it's on HBO Max and I can't just watch it again. I don't have to get on the freaking subway and then travel a great distance and then listen to Peach sneeze below camera.
And we can fast forward the boring human parts.
Yeah, that's good. That's the thing. I can literally just go to the parts that I like in this film.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. So, should we get into spoiler stuff in here?
I say so.
Let's see. The big reveal. Yeah, get Peach up here.
Yeah, she's being antsy.
Being an antsy-pantsy. The big reveal on here is that the reason why Godzilla attacks humans in the beginning is because Godzilla hunts down other Titans. Mankind is now making their own Titan. Yeah, I saw you looking over here. Just careful with that leg. Careful with that leg.
Yeah, don't kick him in the nuts again.
Yeah, we can't take it again. We're gonna shut down this entire show if he does it again. Just give me a hard cut to credits, just like one of these movies. So Mankind's basically making their own Titan, and
the company behind it is named Apex. It's like, wow, that's not subliminal at all. That's
subtle.
Subtle. That's right. Yes.
It's very subliminal.
I'm getting my words mixed up.
Yes. Okay. You good? Yeah. There we go.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Peach, you're making this very difficult.
Yeah, but people like her. All right. You're good. You're lucky you're good for ratings. They are making Mechagodzilla is what they're doing.
Yep.
And they are making Mechagodzilla using the
one of the skulls
of King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
And because King Ghidorah had like psychic connection to the other three heads between each other, so they're using the psychic powers within the skull to be able to control the giant robot. Like you said, people thought that's what they were going to do at the end of the last one when they kind of set up the idea of like selling one of the King Ghidorah heads. However, there is also Cyber King Ghidorah. So that's the other thing that people thought, like, oh, they're gonna like build like Robo Ghidorah or something in here. I'm glad they went with Cyber Godzilla. And yeah, I love the design of Mechagodzilla in here. I thought that Mechagodzilla just looks really damn good. And I really enjoy that Mechagodzilla is kind of fighting like Godzilla too, because there's that moment in which we all know the best moment of the first film, where Godzilla takes the Muto, pulls its head open, and then does the atomic breath into its mouth. I love there's the moment during the fight in which like it is Mechagodzilla has Godzilla down and it's opening its mouth and it's about to do the exact thing. There's like, I love that it is fighting like Godzilla. I love that it's about to go like, oh, you know that like awesome, amazing move that you did in the first one? Well, this is how that feels. Yeah, I thought that was great. Also, I love the misdirection on it because it feels like, the humans are going to be controlling Mechagodzilla the entire time. And I love that, like, after, like, a short circuit, like, the human who is controlling it gets electrocuted. And now it's basically, like, this feels like a fanfic. But I say that in the best way.
Yeah.
It is now the psychic ghost of King Ghidorah controlling Mecha Godzilla. I was like, that feels like straight out of a fanfic, and it's great.
Like, it works in the monster universe.
Yeah, it absolutely works. Because also, like, again, I haven't watched too many Godzilla films. I've watched a handful of them, but I've watched a lot of videos of people explaining the Godzilla films. I'm like, this feels like something that would happen in one of the Godzilla films. Like, it's up there. I mean, heck, in the last Godzilla film here in America, after the last legendary Godzilla film, didn't, like, Mothra add, like, her powers, like, do, like, the fusion dance with Godzilla at one point? Like, yeah, this franchise understands, like, the goofy stuff to do with the big monsters that make it cool. It's like, yeah, awesome. But watching King Kong and Godzilla team up to take on Mechagodzilla, God, that is insanely fun. And again, the choreography in there is so good. Like, the moment when they just both, like, grab its head and ram it through a building, I was like, holy crap, that is fun. Man, we talk about the choreography in here being so good. It is great. So yeah, really, really had a good time with that. Anything else to really discuss aside from Mechagodzilla in here? We did kind of already discuss, like, the axe. Yeah, there comes that moment in which, like, he finds the axe, and it's this very odd shape of a rock on the end of it. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it's a cool-looking rock.
I figure, like, because apes know how to use tools, they, like, chiseled
it down, yeah. I thought that was probably what it was, too. But then there comes that moment in which Godzilla, like, Godzilla can sense King Kong is at the center of the earth, so it stands on land up in Hong Kong, I think they're in the end? Yeah, they're in Hong Kong. Stands up in Hong Kong and fires a laser beam directly into the earth in order to, like, get, like, I mean, this must have made, like, the Death Battle guys, like, just lose their minds. Like, do the math on how much it takes to, like, drill to the center of the earth. Like, just blasting a hole straight to the center of the earth to get Kong's attention. And then you see the axe start to light up, and that's when I went, oh my god, it's not a rock. It's one of Godzilla's scales. It's one of the big spikes on Godzilla's back. One of Kong's ancestors fought Godzilla, ripped one of the spikes off, and turned it into an axe. There's a backstory there, and oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, I have to, like, rewatch the Godzilla films just to, like, see, like,
is it missing a
yeah, is he missing one of his scales? Like,
if they set that up from the beginning, I would be super impressed. Yeah, I mean, granted, it would have happened thousands of years ago, so it could have grown back.
Maybe.
But, I mean, if they did do it, it'd be an amazing detail. That was one of those things that as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, I think IDW still owns the comic rights to Godzilla. Who owns the comic rights to King Kong? Because y'all need to make a backstory comic book or get in contact with Netflix and make, like, a backstory animated film or something. Like, have Genndy Tartakovsky direct that, the guy who's doing that Primal show on Adult Swim. Yeah, like, man, I would watch the crap out of it. Like, just make, that's what they really need to do. Remember when Genndy Tartakovsky did the Clone Wars minis? Yeah. Do that for Titans. Because you're not going to make, like, 1,000 more, like, American Titan films. You're not going to make it, which I do kind of, like, listen, I will always stick to kaiju, but I do kind of like that America came in here and was like, well, we're going to have our own term. And the term is like one that you listen to, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, Titans, that would fit.
Like, Titans is, like, more universal.
It is a little more universal, but also, like, I think that this, makes for a firmer divide between the Japanese Godzilla films and the American Godzilla films. Like, it helps them both kind of establish their own identity, I feel like. But
like a Titans versus Kaiju movie in the future.
But it's one of those things where you're like, okay, there's so many cool monsters that exist within the Godzilla universe over there. You're not going to make MonsterVerse versions of all of them. And also, like, you can come up with your own version, your own monsters. Like, in King of the Monsters, they introduced this giant woolly mammoth thing that was like, that thing has to come back. It looks way too damn cool. I would love for them to, like, do what Genndy Tartakovsky did with the Clone Wars. Where it's, like, just 5-minute shorts, just come in here, and just, like, a little quick random adventure starting one of these monsters. I would love to see something like that. Get that thing on Netflix. I think it'd be amazing. Okay, any other spoilery stuff to talk about?
I guess, like, the cut, the big cut at the end, or like
Well,
where they just cut away.
We just meant it's just
I guess. Yeah,
but King Kong, he's now living at the center of the earth, and he brought all of his human friends with him. So yeah, you could totally make another King Kong film.
But you don't know what happens to Godzilla. He just like goes into the water. And
Godzilla does what Godzilla always does. He just goes
like,
in the water and goes
bye.
away. That's how Godzilla is. Godzilla, Batman's out of there. Like, the moment that you all look away, Godzilla just bloop right into the ocean. Godzilla always pulls the Irish goodbye at a party. Okay, Peach. There. Okay. Go on now. But anything else you want to say?
Well, like I said, there's like some parts where it's like I'm not sure how that, like how they got King Kong on the boat, or how they got him.
If you want to ask physics in this, like the boat fight is going to drive you insane. Because like, listen, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief in these films, but even I was like, okay, that boat thing, like. Kong jumps between boats. The amount of pressure of him landing in that thing would submerge the crap out of that boat.
Maybe even break it in half.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, again, the fight there is really damn cool. So I didn't ask too many questions. I mean, there's the moment in which like the entire ship is
I was like
submerging, and Kong is still like tied to the ship, and like you got the human in it. Like this is what I mean when I say the human stuff in the Kong parts actually helps Kong out, because like the boat is submerged and everyone's going down, and Kong is tied to it and he's bringing the whole ship down. So the human like swims through the ship in order to turn off.
Release the chains.
Release the chains. So Kong is set free, and then Kong like grabs the entire boat and like lifts the thing back up. I was like, all right, Kong and the humans, I like it. Working together. I'm on board with this. I enjoy this. I will say though, the evil humans in here, I love how they just go out. I love how they set up like, oh, it's gonna be like, oh, these evil humans are gonna do things. And one of them is just instantly destroyed in an airplane. Like, she really felt like she was going to have a major part in here. Nope, she is, like, they totally took her out. And then the big evil guy who runs the corporation, he just has like, oh, shit. And
but then he realizes like his, the Mechagodzilla like malfunctions and just...
Well, this is what comes from playing God. Not like people didn't warn me. I heard the Aesop fables. I know this was coming. All right. Yeah. So I think that's everything, unless you got anything else to say.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, this movie is really damn fun. And if you're a big monster fan, man, this is really damn good stuff. And I am hoping, because again, that last Godzilla film, I remember it did not make nearly as much money as they wanted to. This thing, even during a pandemic, it is cleaning up. Excuse me. So yeah, I really do hope that there's gonna be more of this after this. I think that this thing, like, if anything possibly saved the MonsterVerse, it was gonna be this thing. You okay, buddy? All right. So, that's it. I don't know the next thing that's coming out. Mortal Kombat, actually, like at the end of this month or at the beginning of May. I don't remember. But yeah, Mortal Kombat. Gotta be honest with you, I'm actually excited for the Mortal Kombat film. That trailer actually looked pretty good. It looked like Mortal Kombat, so I'm kind of on board now. I'm always the last guy to get on board with a video game movie, despite the fact that I'm the big video game guy here. But I gotta admit, this actually looks alright. I'm on board with this thing. So yeah, we'll come back, we'll see what we think of that. But stay tuned, we're gonna do our regular Marvel show update thing in a little bit. So come back for that. Bye everybody.
Bye.